On Monday, December 4th, a patrol officer was inside his vehicle at Fire Station 2 when he heard what sounded like the discharge of a firearm. The officer exited his vehicle and began to investigate the source of the noise when he encountered frightened community members by Fields Park.
I'm scared! I don't want you!
I'm gonna go try to get them to stop doing that.
As additional reports of possible shots fired or fireworks reported to the Emergency Communications Center by concerned community members, the officer determines flares being fired from the back window of a duplex in the 800 block of North Burlington Street.
Just had another flare go off here.
The flares land near Fields Park, Escuela Key Elementary School, and on North George Mason Drive. Additional officers arrive on scene and attempt to make contact with the suspect inside the residence, but receive no response. After speaking with a neighboring unit, officers access their patio and try to establish contact with the suspect. The suspect continues to fire flares and officers provide commands to stop.
Arlington County Police! Stop shooting the flares! Mr. Yu, can you hear me? Mr. Yu!
Over a 25-minute period, the sound of 41 discharged flares are captured on officer body-worn camera video. The final flare is fired at 5:09 p.m. Despite repeated attempts by officers, the suspect refuses to communicate and remains barricaded inside the residence. At 6 p.m., officers evacuate the neighboring unit in the duplex. The suspect is believed and later confirmed to be the only individual remaining on the property. Over the next 2 hours, officers continued their on-scene investigation and determined police had no prior documented interactions with the suspect. Neighbors tell officers the suspect is reclusive and has recently covered his windows with black trash bags, thrown trash into the backyard from a window, and strewn toilet paper on trees outside the home. Based on the suspect's observed and described erratic behavior and the unpredictable nature of the incident, officers remain concerned for the safety of the community and obtain a search warrant to recover any weapons inside the home. The emergency response team, including negotiators, respond to execute the search warrant at the home. At 8:02 p.m., members of the emergency response team begin using the public address system and sirens on the armored vehicle to communicate with the suspect and direct him to surrender to police.
James, Arlington Police, come to the front door with your hands up. Do it now. We have your building surrounded. We are not leaving. Come to the door now with your hands up and surrender.
At 8:10 p.m., after receiving no response from the suspect, officers provide commands to move away from the door as they prepare to breach the entrance with the armored vehicle as an additional effort to establish communication with the suspect.
James, this is the Arlington Police Department. We need you to move away from your front door. Move away from your front door. James, this is the Arlington Police Department. We need you to move away from your front door.
At 8:11 p.m., the front door of the residence is breached using the armored vehicle.
James, stay away from your front door. Stay away from your front door, James.
After the door is breached, gunshots are heard from inside the residence. Despite the ongoing threats to themselves, officers continue to try to engage with the suspect to safely bring him into custody. An additional angle of the home being breached by the armored vehicle and shots being fired from within the home can be seen on the body-worn camera from officers positioned outside the home.
Stay away from the front door, James. The Arlington Police Department.
As the suspect remains barricaded inside the home, officers deployed non-flammable, less lethal chemical munitions to the residence. The purpose of this deployment is to cause irritation in hopes of compelling the suspect to surrender. After a munition is discharged, officers continue giving commands while providing a period for the suspect to surrender. During this time, officers can hear the suspect yelling inside the home,
Come out, the hands up, you've got to be your hands, it will not be hard, you understand?
With the suspect refusing to surrender and no visual inside the home due to the windows being covered with the black trash bags, officers begin repositioning the armored vehicle to a window of the residence. Prior to breaching the window, the home explodes at 8:24 p.m., resulting in a large structure fire. An additional angle of the home explosion is captured on body-worn camera of officers positioned at the back of the home. After confirming the safety of all first responders on scene, officers check on neighbors and evacuate them from their homes.
Police department! Police department! Police department! Police department! Come on out! I need you to get evacuated and move down the street, okay?
On the morning of December 5th, after the fire at the home had been extinguished, human remains were recovered at the scene. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner determined the remains were that of the homeowner, 56-year-old James Yu. His cause of death was determined to be thermal injuries and blunt force trauma. Items recovered from the scene include gasoline canisters, 2 shotguns, a firearm, 2 flare guns, shotgun magazines, loose shotgun rounds, fired and unfired flares. Fire investigators determined the explosion originated in the basement of the home, was intentionally caused by the suspect, and involved gasoline and a competent ignition source. The munitions used by police during this incident are verified not to be a competent ignition source for this event. The Arlington County Police and Fire Departments responded to this developing emergency incident with the safety and well-being of the Arlington community as our guiding priority. The collaborative on-scene response by officers assigned to the Patrol Section, Special Weapons and Tactics Team, and Crisis Negotiators Unit demonstrates their professionalism and commitment to public safety despite the ongoing threat to themselves. While no first responders were hospitalized from this incident, in the days and weeks that followed, many sought medical treatment for their injuries sustained from the explosion.